It's time for San Diego's own Approved Home Pro Show, your friends in the home improvement business. Kogo is proud to welcome your hosts, Linda Martin and Greg Cantor.
And welcome to the Approved Home Pro Show. I'm Linda Martin with resident expert and co-host Greg Cantor, president of Murray Lampert Design, Build, Remodel. How are you today?
I'm great. Looking forward to this long weekend.
Yes, I know. Kids so excited about it too.
So you already have plans?
Not really, but that's the best way to handle it.
Wing it.
In my family,
Just
you just wing it. Take each day. Now, earlier today on TV at 6:55 and 8:55, we were on ABC 10 Renovate America Spotlight with Cal State Construction and our friends from Cross Country Mortgage. So we learned about that as well. And hey, Approved Home Pros, these guys are fantastic. Sean, what a group.
I think we've got the best pros. I think today in the show you're going to hear from some of our very favorites. And Greg, on ApprovedHomePros.com, everything you need is right there to find those screen and vetted pros.
Yeah, it's really easy. You can just go to the homepage. There's a drop down, and by category, you can search for the pro that you need. It's just so easy. So I recommend checking it out.
It's much better than any of those advisors or lists out there. I'm just going to say that.
I concur.
You are right about that. So we're going to get into our first topic this morning, talking about the solar questions you may have. And our guest today is Brian Milholland from SunPower by Milholland with the top 10 solar questions answered. And, it's sunny in Southern California so much of the year, and so many people look at others and think, God, could I bring my bill down if I had this? It'd be so great. So many people are interested.
Oh, absolutely. San Diego's the hot spot of solar for sure across the nation, not only because it's so sunny, but because electric bills are so high.
Oh, yeah. Mine was more than $700 last month alone. Right. So I'm definitely looking at some changes. So let's get right into this topic then. How expensive is a solar system?
Well, like I said, the electric rates are so high in San Diego that solar systems are about a third the cost of electricity over the utilities. So loan payments, are less than the current electric rates. So it's very affordable.
Well, and that's what's crazy is you could take the money you would give to the power company and own your system, and in just a few years pay it off, right?
Right. A lot of people think, well, how am I going to afford a solar system when I can barely afford my electric rates, my electric bill? Well, we take your electric bill down very low, like $10, and you use the money you save from that to pay the payments. And usually your payments are less than what your original electric bill was.
So I think one of the things that I was worried about, and I know that other customers are too, potential customers, is do you have to pay all this money up front? I think that's a fear, because when are you going to start seeing the return? Right.
We have loans that are available, and with the loan rates and the payback timeframes, your payments are less than what your current electric bill is.
All right. So, and the second part, one of the questions answered, how will solar affect property values?
So there's a formula for how much you save in electricity with the solar system as to what that solar system is worth, but trying to get the home appraisers to abide by that can be difficult in this uncertain time of home values. So what I like to say is, if you had two homes that you were looking at purchasing, and one had a $0 electric bill and one had a $500 electric bill, which home would be more attractive to you?
No brainer.
Absolutely.
So do you find that when you're out there, or maybe it's just Greg or somebody else, do you see that homes sell easier when there is a solar system on it? Is that one of the things you tend to see out there?
They do. They do sell easier if there's a solar system, if it is a purchased solar system. Leases make the transfer of a home a little bit more difficult, because you have to remove a lien and then put the lien back on. And if the lease company isn't very friendly with answering their phone calls or very responsive, that can be difficult.
And my recommendation, sometimes you have to do a lease, but do regular financing or purchase is best in the long run, for sure.
Right, and I know that's one of the questions is, should I lease, should I loan? Get a loan for the system. And the answer is, if you can't take advantage of the tax credits, then a lease may be the best situation for you, because the leaser takes the tax credits for you and gives you a discount.
What I'm seeing a lot, too, is we're doing major remodels and people are doing solar at the same time. So they're getting the financing. We're handling it together with our permitting, and it's kind of piggybacking on together, and it really makes a lot of sense.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we have many more things here to talk about. Rebates and incentives. Will I still get an electric bill? So we have some more answers for you on your solar questions. And we also have an offer. You have 10% off up to $500 when you mention Approved Home Pros.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you have that. And also contact Brian Milholland, SunPower by Milholland at 619-320-7373. So I guess we could go into rebates and incentives quickly then.
Yeah, so the rebates and incentives, when the solar started off, there was a rebate from the state of California, and those rebates have done their job and lowered the price of solar. So those are gone right now in San Diego, but tax credits are available. So there's still a 30% federal tax credit available on the cost of the system, which it knocks the price of the system down by a third. And that tax credit is available for the next 3 years.
And we have some takeaways so far? No?
Yes, I mean, definitely get a consultation and look at solar and look at your options of financing for sure.
Okay, so when we come back, we're still talking to Brian about the electric bill. What happens if you sell your house? How do you compare quotes for solar? So we're going to get more into that when we come back on Approved Home Pros.
And I think, Linda, we have Harry on the line.
Harry's on the line from Ace Hardware with the Ace Project of the Week.
Hello, Harry.
Good morning, Greg.
Fixing the annoying dripping sound from your faucet that keeps you up at night and wastewater can be surprisingly inexpensive and simple, right?
You are right, Greg. Usually it only requires a couple tools, an adjustable wrench, Phillips and flathead screwdrivers, some penetrating oil such as WD-40, and then your replacement washers and O-rings.
And Harry, what are the steps to this simple repair?
So first you want to be sure your water supply is turned off at the angle valves under the sink. And then once you do that, you're going to remove any of the decorative parts of the handle knobs. Usually a simple prying with a flathead screwdriver will take care of that. And then each knob will have a screw that mounts the knob or handle to the stem. You unscrew it and then gently remove the handle with your flathead screwdriver. Sometimes there'll be some calcium or lime buildup that can make it difficult to remove the handle. So this is where you use the penetrating oil to assist in loosening it, allowing you to take the faucet handle off of the stem. Next, you use your wrench to loosen what's called the packing nut, and that's the large nut that will be visible when the knob is removed. And from there, you should be able to see the stem. You'll remove that as well. Depending on the type of faucet, some stems pop right off, while others will twist off from the valve. Check the removed parts for any damage. If everything is intact at this point, inspect the O-ring and the washer inside the valve seat at the bottom of the stem. This is where you're going to find worn-out rings and washers that are usually the reason for your leak. Remove those old parts, put in replacements inside the seat.
And it's crucial to make sure your replacement washers and O-rings are an exact fit. It's best to bring the old O-ring and washers to your neighborhood Ace Hardware store to verify the correct size.
You're right. And the last step is to carefully reassemble all the parts. Slowly and gently turn the angle stop under the sink to turn your water back on, and check to see if you've solved.
Welcome back to the Approved Home Pro Show, San Diego's most trusted home improvement resource.
All right, welcome back. It's Linda Martin along with Greg Cantor, and our guest, Brian Milholland, is here talking about solar, all the questions that you want answered. And we have a top 10 list here, so we want to get through this. We're getting into, will I still get an electric bill?
Yes, you still get an electric bill, but now it'll be converted to a yearly bill. So you'll get monthly statements so you can see where you're at with your credits or your charges.
And then we touched on this. What happens if I sell my house? But can you just answer that quickly?
Sure. If you paid cash, the system will just transfer with the sale of the house. If you have a loan, you can use the proceeds from the sale of the house to pay off your loan. And a lease, then the new owner would assume the lease.
Okay. So we got that. And in the next one then, how do I compare solar quotes?
That's an important one.
That's very, very important. And it's very difficult because a lot of sales companies don't give you the answer. But you have to look at the kilowatt hours that the system produces. So over 20 years, it's going to produce a certain amount of kilowatt hours, and you have to look at the cost per kilowatt hour produced. So it's very important that you get those numbers. And if you have one of my consultants come out and go through the quotes with you, they'll help explain to you what the value is of the systems that you're looking at.
Okay, don't forget there's an offer now at 10% off up to $500 when you mention Approved Home Pros. So think about that when you're calling these guys. And then how long will a solar system last?
our SunPower by Milholland, we use SunPower panels, and their panels have a 40-year life expectancy, one of the longest in the business.
And they stay producing high rate for a long time, longer than most panels.
They're warranted to produce 92% of the electricity at year 20 that they do at day one.
Okay,
and that kind of goes into our next question, because a little bit about the differences between solar panels.
Sure.
And as you answer that, I know Linda will ask you the specific question, but my sister who lives in Florida, I'd have Brian do it for him, is looking at solar. And one of the things that jumped out to me right away, and I knew they weren't looking at SunPower panels because the warranty was only at 80%, and it wasn't.
That's the industry standard is 80%, but SunPower's looked at how their panels have performed over time, and they're performing better than 92% over 20 years, and so that's what their warranty is. And the question, right, are there big differences in solar panel manufacturers? And yes, there are huge differences. And you can look at their warranties, and our consultants can explain to you the warranties of all the different companies and how they differ. But SunPower has a 25-year power, production, and labor warranty. Full 100% warranty for 25 years. That's the best in the business. And one of the reasons why I align myself with SunPower is that if something goes wrong with the manufacturer's equipment, they will pay me to come out and to replace their equipment. No other manufacturer does that.
And you do that for systems that you haven't even installed, right?
Right. We do service. We service all manufacturers. Yes.
Okay, and then the roof. Let's talk about the roof for a second. Is it suitable for solar panels?
Yeah. Most roofs are suitable for solar panels. If you can get up and walk on your roof and the roof isn't flexing and you aren't afraid that you're going to fall through, we can put solar panels on it. Now, does the roof need some prep before that? That's a possibility. If it's a metal roof or it's a shake roof, or if it's a tile roof, a Spanish tile roof, we need to do some prep. But yes, we haven't seen a roof yet that is not suitable for solar. Just some of them need extra prep.
And then this is our last of our 10 here, questions answered. Do solar panels produce power when the sun is not shining?
No, they don't. And that's a lot of things. My brother did this. My brother came home. I installed solar on his roof. He came home at night. He says, it's not working. And my brother's an electrician.
Ooh.
Wow.
Scary.
So I'm like, it's not working because the sun's not shining. He's like, I missed that part. Yeah.
Wow.
No, if the sun is not shining, they do not produce power.
Okay, so Brian, we rolled through these, but for people who really want to listen to the questions and answers here again, Brian Milholland from SunPower by Milholland. The questions and answers are available on ApprovedHomePros.com. You can find them there.
Yep, right on the show extra section. Just go on the homepage and show extras. We'll have it there, and I'm sure we'll put a link from Brian's page at ApprovedHomePros.com/Milholland. My personal recommendation, and Greg, I know you stand by this, is to at least get these questions answered for yourself by having a solar consultation with Brian.
Absolutely. I know you do a comprehensive proposal. You are a roofing contractor as well, so you have one place to get everything done. You don't have to split it up into two different companies.
So How would somebody call you and set that up?
Yeah, and we also have our Solar Design Center out in Poway. So if you're afraid to have, not afraid, but if you don't want somebody coming into your home that you can't get rid of, come out to our Solar Design Center out on Ted Williams and Pomerado in the Target Shopping Center and, kick the tires, so to speak, and go over all these questions with us. You can give us a call at 619-320-7373 and get a solar consultation.
All right, very good. Thank you. And don't forget the Approved Home Pros. What a group. Very best are provided to you free at ApprovedHomePros.com, or you call 855-840-A-PRO, and that's 2776. If you're trying to think of it in your head, you're going, wait, Pro, what is that? I always need it too. Our next guest here is from Emory Plumbing, and we're talking about all the water heaters that are available. I know there's not a ton of them, but the differences between them, choosing a tankless water heater versus a tank. And Brandon Bishop is with us from Emory Plumbing. How you doing?
Great.
Yeah, so just in talking about this earlier, I feel like I learned so much. And so we want to share this with all the people listening out there. What is the difference? Explain tankless water heaters and how they work.
Well, tankless water heater is a water heater that heats the water as you demand it and doesn't store any water in a tank, hence the name tankless. It's theoretically unlimited hot water.
But the misnomer about that is people think on demand means getting hot water immediately. That's not the case, right, Brandon?
No, it will still take just as long to get hot water because ultimately the source of the hot water is the same distance.
Okay, can I try to sound cool for just a second here? What if you have a recirc pump? Because I just learned about that.
Wow.
That'll solve your problem. Absolutely. And the new tanklesses can accommodate recirc pumps.
Okay, so now we need to explain what a recirc pump is.
Exactly.
It pushes your water around? That's
It does. It pushes your hot water around. It can be set by timer, or it can be set by temperature to turn itself off when the pipes reach a certain temperature. And one of the things people don't understand is that you can actually add a recirc pump to a house that never had one before.
And you don't have to have an extra loop line, right? You can just add it in line from the tankless water heater, correct?
Correct. They make a special thing now that you put under your very last sink, and that is how we call it a comfort system. That's how you put it in a house that didn't originally have it.
So let's break it down for somebody that's just completely new to the entire thing. So a recirc pump, we're talking about us moving your water around and everything. The benefit to the homeowner is with a recirc pump that's working properly, you turn on the hot water and it's there right away. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay.
And you can put it on a timer. So what you do is you time it so that when, the high demand times of the day when you need to take a shower or wash dishes or whatever, you have that hot water, but then it's off at night when you're sleeping.
So it's nice because that really gives you what I think a lot of people think a tankless system does. That's what I think the misconception is that it's instant hot water. A recirc pump with it can be the instant hot water. I have a kind of a newbie question here. How does a tankless system work? If it doesn't have a tank of water, how does it actually heat the water?
Well, it has a series of tubes that are similar to a radiator or an air conditioner or any of those things, if you know how that works. But it runs the water through from one end to the other, and there's a flame under it, and that's how it heats it.
Okay, interesting. And if I have a couple of preteens who take longer than normal showers, the water stays hot?
Forever, although, with the water situation in Southern California, that's still probably not a good idea.
Get them in, get them out.
But you do need to size tankless for the right amount of usage, right? The right amount of gallons per minute, is it?
It's gallons per minute, yes. Yeah, otherwise you'll pay too much,
right,
is essentially the problem.
Okay. And then so tankless and then the instant water. Do more people have the tank version and they're wanting to change?
Well, people are changing quite a bit, but I would say 90% of people still have a traditional tank.
Okay, but it's important for people to come out and see what they may need, right? Maintenance and service is important.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the biggest issue with the tanklesses is they're supposed to be flushed about once a year, once every 2 years, and basically no one does it.
And I can tell you, and I know you said this, Brandon, that you advise people on getting their systems flushed, but they don't do it. I do the same thing when we install them in our remodels, and I find out they don't get maintenance, and I highly recommend at least every 2 years getting maintenance. And you do that, right?
We do. Yeah, you'll cut your life of your tank list down by half if you don't service.
By half. And those things aren't, they're not massively expensive, but that can be a lot of money.
Well, they're pretty expensive. They're more expensive than a traditional tank.
So I want to really make a stop down on this. So you find that most people don't do the service, the standard service that should be done, and they're costing themselves money. You come out, you do a maintenance check and a survey, a service on it. How long does that cost? How long does it take, and about what does that cost?
Roughly about 45 minutes, and it actually costs about $99 because it's very specialized equipment, and the chemical that goes in it, well, it's really not a chemical, it's all natural, but it is expensive.
So, Brandon, more and more people are hearing about tankless systems, and when it's time to replace their hot water tank or tankless, you'll advise them on what the best application is, right?
Absolutely. It does depend what you want to get. If you have teens and they're taking unlimited showers, I don't know. Maybe you don't want a tankless. Maybe you want to cut them off.
Or you just want to stand there and turn it off for them.
Here's a bucket.
Yeah, exactly. But when you have guests and situations where you do really need the extra hot water, it's obviously really bad not to be able to do it.
Okay, so you want to know what your options are. And how do you know if you're at home, if you have a problem and you think, I really do need to check this out? Maybe if you haven't done it for a long time, but is there anything that you see in your water? If it's taking a really long time to heat up or...
Yeah, especially with a
weird
tankless.
Noises out of the garage?
With a tankless, you'll notice that you have to turn the hot water on more to get the same temperature that you used to. It will start to run less efficiently.
Okay, so we want people to be able to give you a call for service and maintenance at Emory and Emory Plumbing. Brandon Bishop, you can contact him at 619-777-8177 or go to approvedhomepros.com/Emory. and you can get more information with
Do we
that.
have time for me to ask another question?
Go for it. Yeah.
So
We'll make
Brandon, we do projects where we're like right on the line of knowing if it needs 2 tankless or 1. Is there a rule of thumb when you recommend 2 units versus 1 unit?
Yes, but it comes down to how many feet of pipe is more important
The
than
length of travel.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Okay, so there's options out there, and you can certainly call Emory Plumbing and talk to Brandon. You work there all the time. Will you answer any time of the day? People can call you.
Personally,
Here I am.
What's your cell phone number? Just so people can call you anytime of day
555.
or night, whether they're bored. No, just kidding. But you can, if they call you, you can schedule for that tankless maintenance, and you come out and get that on the schedule pretty quickly for people, right?
Absolutely. Next day in most cases.
So if you haven't done it, Greg, it's something that people need to do, right? It's a high recommendation. You make that recommendation all the time. Get it done.
Because water is so hard in San Diego that it will wear out your water heaters much quicker than normal. So what's your phone number again?
619-777-8177.
Thank you.
All right, so be sure to get in touch because yeah, you're right. The water is hard here. I just found that out too. We'll talk more about that when we come back. All right, stay tuned.
If you're looking for approved home pros, you're in the right place. This is the Approved Home Pro Show.
So we're talking about Thompson building materials. Now, Linda, I think you thought I was over-exaggerating about how beautiful that showroom is, but you checked it out, right?
I wanted to take a nap and have a cocktail in each section because it had this whole backdoor, beautiful areas in all different versions that you can visualize.
And I know you wanted the hammock.
I want a hammock and I want a pizza oven.
But they're not just a showroom, they're a show yard. I mean, indoor, outdoor spaces. If you're remodeling or landscaping or building a pool, Thompson Building Materials is the place to go. I just sent our current clients from Encinitas, the Nicolese, out there to pick stone for their outdoor space we're building right now. And they're out there to see Hernon to get some great education on what the options are. So go to ThompsonBLDG/San Diego or call 619-287-9410, 619-287-9410.
All right, thanks, Greg. Hey, we are talking with Brandon Bishop from Emory Plumbing, and we were just before the break. We were talking about hard water, and I had no idea that it was such a big deal in San Diego, how hard the water is and what it can do. So, what is it? What does it do? Hard water?
Well, we have some of the hardest water in the nation here. The main thing people will actually notice is the fixtures will tend to have calcium deposits on the outside. But the important part is that that's actually happening in your pipes. Imagine essentially like hardening of the arteries for a person.
That's a good description because that's what it's like.
So it's like eating Tex-Mex every day.
Very much so.
Okay, so you need to get maintenance and service on this then.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's very hard to get the hard water deposits out of your pipes themselves, but that's where the servicing of the tankless water heater comes in. And in fact, you're supposed to service the tank style as well. You're supposed to drain and refill every year. I think our parents did that, but no, it's kind of died out.
And isn't it because there's like silt that gets kind of deposited in the bottom of the tank? And sometimes you'll even see it come through when you run your faucet.
Absolutely, especially if you turn your water off and on, you'll see the bad stuff coming.
Oh, boy. Okay, so there are options out there for if people are wondering what kind of water heater to have. If they want to make a change, they can, but there's differences in prices.
Absolutely. The tankless style is a bit more expensive. They tend to last roughly twice as long. So at the end of the day, it's very similar if you want to, go back to the solar, cost per gallon analysis. It is very similar, but the servicing of them is much more important because the tank, that hard water, the calcium, the dirt, it can just fall to the bottom of the tank. In the tankless, it sticks on the inside.
And when you install a tankless, you set it up so that it can be serviced in the future, right? I mean, there's a couple different ways to install a tankless, and you want it done properly.
Absolutely. It should have a service kit on the bottom of it, and you'll know if it does because it'll have a red and a blue handle beneath the tank.
Okay, so one more time to get in contact to Emory Plumbing, Brandon Bishop, 619-777-8177, or go to approvedhomepros.com/Emory. And takeaways?
Well, look at your options. Tank is still a good way to go. You can look at tankless in certain situations, and when you're building a new house or remodeling, a lot of times you have to go tankless. So this is really good information to know about.
I also want to say something about Emory, just kind of from our standpoint at Approved Home Pros, because plumbing, I think, is an area, and Greg, I think you'll second this, that people get afraid of calling a plumber. They don't know. It's an area people feel like they might get taken advantage of because they don't know, and it's often an emergency, right?
Yes, and they do get taken advantage of, and there's not that. I'll just be blunt about it. There's not that many good plumbers out there.
Absolutely, it's one of the areas that we get a lot of calls for, and we recommend and refer Emory all the time. And so if you see those yellow Emory trucks out there, just notice them and remember them. And it's a great company. We stand behind it. And if you're ever on the 8 freeway, kind of between the 5 and the 163, you'll see their offices there on the south side of the 8 freeway.
Correct, south side.
And we really stand behind it. We recommend Emory Plumbing. One more time, Brandon, on your phone number.
619-777-8177.
All right, thanks so much. And remember to follow us on Facebook, Approved Home Pros, and Twitter at Approved Home Pro. So our next guest, we're talking about some exciting projects that you can do. And when you say you, I don't know if you mean me, but I'm going to find out if I can really and truly
think even Linda could do it.
Okay, well, I am ready to hear about it. At Rockler Woodworking and Hardware, we have Mike Durlak here. And this is all about woodworking, a great hobby. You can make some amazing projects for your home. And you're going to help us learn about this. Thanks for being here. The San Diego General Manager, Mike Durlak.
Hi.
How you doing?
Great. How's it going today?
Very good. So this is exciting when you talk about projects because all of us wish we had these skills, but many of us don't think we do or could never tackle something like this. What are some of the projects that you think people could do?
Well, we're helping with pretty much anything you want to tackle. I mean, we have people in repair things. In San Diego, we have a lot of people, military families moving in and out. They get broken furniture all the time. They have things that get scratched up. If you have 2 teenage kids in your house, things are going to get scratched up too. We can help you fix that type of stuff, maintain it. We can help you build new stuff if you want it. We just did a little show where we were showing people how relatively easy it is just to make shutters for your house, which are very expensive to purchase.
Shutters. You're saying shutters for entry level. Wow, that's amazing.
What I love about Rockler Woodworking is, I mean, I've seen military people that you do it as a hobby. I've seen families teaching your kids to do it. There's just so many people that can enjoy woodworking, and I think you should give it a shot, Linda. Maybe we'll have to turn some pens or something.
I would love that, because you were talking about you mentioned teenagers, my preteens. They'll say, "Can I have some hammer and nails and a light bulb?" And I think,
A light bulb.
And I said, no.
What are you building?
A bomb? What? So anyway, you have all these ways and people that help you get through this process because it can be intimidating.
Yeah, it can really be. And we see it a lot for new people coming in. And our targets are really is to, we want you to learn the right techniques, how to do them. We want to really help you pick the right tool, which isn't always the most expensive tool. It doesn't have to be. But there will people, if they ask you, hey, what's the best tool? You're going to get the priciest one out there, but it's not necessarily the best one for you. And the other thing is we really want to make sure, and most importantly, that you're working safely.
Right. You have some really good tools then for that, for safety. It's a big thing.
Yeah. We stock the saw stop, which is very unique. If you're using, a lot of people are intimidated by the table saw, which you're going to need to do woodworking. And they just really, it's a powerful tool. Things are spinning fast, and they get very nervous about getting injured.
And that saw stop is amazing. I mean, I've seen that demonstrated 3 times, and it's
very sensitive, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
What exactly is it for people that may not have heard about it before? Tell us about saw stop.
Well, it's incredible. If you would accidentally touch the blade for any reason, within 5 milliseconds, considerably faster than a car's airbag, it will not only stop the blade, but it takes it below the surface of the saw. We test it with a hot dog, and we do more damage to the hot dog passing it around than we do when it actually physically touches the blade.
I mean, I saw it the first time, and I couldn't believe it. Didn't even make a mark on the hot dog.
not at all.
That's amazing. Okay, so we're going to talk more about some of the things first-timers can do about safety and some of the other products that you have. But to get in touch with Mike Durlak at Rockler Woodworking and Hardware, call 619-677-1769. And this is on Claremont Mesa Boulevard, 8199. So a very convenient location, approvedhomepros.com/Rockler as well to get in touch. And so when we come back, we're going to talk about how all the products that you have, we're going to talk about this open house that actually you're supporting.
Yeah, it's coming
even
up
for kids.
pretty soon.
Yeah. Okay, that's terrific. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
You're listening to the Approved Home Pro Show, your friends in the home improvement business.
And welcome back. We're talking about woodworking and all the things that you can do, even first-timers, which is shocking. That shutters, all these things on the table that are wonderful to be able to think about doing. Mike Durlak is here from Rockler Woodworking and Hardware, and you have a really experienced crew. Let's talk about them for a moment.
Well, we do. All the people, one of the things, obviously, before they can get hired, they got to be passionate about woodworking, and they have to be knowledgeable. There's so many times when you go out to a large box store and you just can't get any help. Somebody about, there's two tools that look the same. One's red, green. I'm not sure, how they pick which one they recommend, but we really put a lot into that. These guys really had their heart into woodworking, and particularly helping people to come in the store. I mean, that's a big deal for them. They're very passionate about that.
And I was going to say, Mike, you deal with people that are, professional woodworkers, but a lot of just people that come in and want to refinish their furniture, or they need hardware, guides for their drawers, or those kind of things that really need some hand holding, and your people are trained for that, right?
Absolutely. It's it's if you go into a store where you're dealing with professionals all the time, and you get kind of used to that. You have to be able to switch gears and be able to deal with someone that's in the store for the first time and doing woodworking for the first time, or trying to execute a repair to their house or something. And you have to have the patience, the time to sort through and figure out what they can do, what their skills are, so we can help them the right way.
And someone can just come in, and if they want to get started, you could set them up with a project, and you have everything there, including hardwood. They'll walk away with everything needed to go home and do a project, right?
Yeah, plans and everything. And a lot of times people will come by and say, I'm really I'm interested in woodworking. Their jobs, they were looking for a little different than just what they do at their jobs every day, and they want to build something, get some satisfaction. And we can help them with that. We just, we talk to them and figure out what they like to do, where they'd like to go, and help them everything from plans to putting a finish on it.
What are some, you mentioned, I know we talked about shutters, but just quickly, we don't have time to go deeply in each one, but do you have a sense of some of those early projects that somebody might want to try?
Well, a lot of the times it's repair stuff. They won't want to build something, but they want to fix something. And sometimes that's actually harder to do. So we work with them a lot on that to figure out, what they are capable of, what tools they have, what we would recommend for them. Sometimes it can be something simple as, pen turning, getting started in turning. They want something they can do in a small space. They're not going to spend a lot of money, but they really kind of enjoy, there's something they can do. And it's kind of unique. Wood turning is a good example, as you don't have to have a lot of room. You don't have to spend a lot of money. It's one of the fastest results, because you can start from a real simple block of wood and have a finished product in an hour. And that's pretty hard to do. Well,
I'm just going to say that we've done a lot of pen turning. Greg, you have we've done some pen turning contests. How many of those have you won?
None.
None. Okay.
What
just
is
wanted
that?
to I knew that answer. I'm
and
just going
I
to say
took
that. But
3 years of wood shop in high school.
So we're going to have Linda join us, I think, in an upcoming pen turning contest coming up, though.
Interesting. Okay. And so we mentioned this, too, before we went to break, about an open house that you're supporting. Tell us about that.
Well, San Diego, one of the things we always look at when we get started in doing something is what are our assets around us that we can work with. And this is a tremendous one. The San Diego Fine Woodworkers Association, which sounds a little intimidating. They accept everybody. They accept people beginning in woodworking. They're opening. They have a member shop, and they just opened up on Miramar and Eastgate Mall Road. And this is a 3,000 square foot facility, really set up just for woodworkers. And they have a lot of things that even people with some pretty nice shops do not have. They have a CNC machines there, a wide drum sander. They have a lathe. They have a large thickness planer. I mean, things that cost a lot of money, and you would be hesitant probably to buy to put in your shop.
Okay, so and I understand more women attend this. That you have quite a few women that go?
A lot really do. They have a good portion of women out there that work in the shops, and frankly, a lot of times men are intimidated by women getting into woodworking.
Oh, really?
Well, they are. They learn colors much better than we do. They learn proportions much better than we do, and sometimes they're much more organized.
Maybe more detail
than we want to admit.
I bet you're more detail oriented.
They really are. They really are.
When is the open house?
The open house is going to be September the 9th. That's coming up pretty quickly. 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Make sure you get there early. There's and the other thing I said to that facility too is there's volunteers there all the time.
So you can always ask questions and get help.
Yeah.
I could see myself asking a lot of questions. Okay, Mike Durlak, you can contact him at 619-677-1769. He's at 8199 Claremont Mesa Boulevard at Rockler Woodworking and Hardware. Get out there and see it. That's amazing.
One last thing that Mike is pointing to me that we wanted to hit too is if somebody comes in and there's 3 free sessions that you'll be able to give to somebody at the open house or with.
Yeah, show up at our store before you go there, and we can hook you up with a card for 3 free sessions at the shop. So, and that's the only place in town to get that, and that's gonna help you get started fast.
All right, I'm on my way to new shutters.
I want to see it. I bet you can do it, especially with Mike's tutelage.
I know. Very nice. Okay, so everything you wanted to know about woodworking and all of the different projects that you can do and the open house. So don't forget that and the 3 free sessions.
Yep.
So be sure to give him a call. And remember, it's approvedhomepros.com/Rockler. And so what do you have in Cantor's Corner today?
Well, I want to talk about tile installation. When you remodel your bathroom, the tile and cabinets are one of the biggest expenditures. And when you do tile, you want to do it right. There's 3 main types of installations. One is glue-on, where it's just glued to the drywall or green board, which is a really cheap, and I do not recommend that type of installation. Some people use cementitious board like Wonder Board or Hardy Backer. That's just a cement board. That's a little bit better than gluing it onto the wall, but really the best way to install tile is to float the walls out with mud, because especially in existing walls, they're not usually straight and square. With mud, you can float everything out, make sure it's perfectly smooth, square, and straight. That way the tile adheres really well and it holds up for pretty much forever.
Okay, that sounds good. That's why people want to give you a call. You know your stuff, too. Oh, very good. So tile installation. Now, TV, don't forget our Approved Home Pro check-in segments, Saturday mornings in the ABC News, each Saturday at 6:55 and 8:55. We highlight another great local pro and help you learn how to get the most from your home improvements. So don't forget to check those out as well.
One question I had, I wanted to go back to, because I'm the person that doesn't know a lot of these things. Greg, you said float with mud.
Correct.
That basically sounds to me like we're levitating something in the air and it's muddy. What does that mean?
What it means is you put wire lath on the wall, like what you see on the outside, actually, and you use cement mixture and use a float. It's a hand-floated procedure, and you put that on the wall, and it's about an inch thick. So that make sure that the corners are square, the walls are plumb, and everything's nice and smooth.
Does it adhere better too?
It does adhere better.
Okay, don't forget to call Greg when you need some help at Murray Lambert Design Build Remodel at 619-500-9485. And so that's the number. So be sure to check him out as well. All right, so we also have next week on radio Saturdays at 9 on News Radio 600 Kogo. Mozzie Heating, Air, and Solar. We have Bath Planet, Window World. You going to have a good rest of the weekend?
I am. I'm looking forward to some rest.
Rest? You don't have to be the man on the barbecue?
Oh, that's rest, though.
Grilling and chilling.
Grilling and chilling is my relaxation.
That's my favorite.
Well, as we get ready to go, just a quick recap of our guests and maybe one more contact number. We got just a little bit of time left. Brian Milholland, SunPower by Milholland, for a solar quote. Any information? What's your phone number?
Yeah, our number is 619-320-7373.
And over to Emory Plumbing.
You can reach us at 619-777-8177.
And Mike Durlak?
Yeah, give us a call at give us a call at 619-677-1769.
All right, thanks so much, everybody, and have a great rest of the weekend, and we'll see you next Saturday on News Radio 600 Kogo.